If you're a business leader today, you're feeling it. You're feeling that immense pressure. The board, the market, absolutely everyone is saying, we need an AI strategy, and we need it now. But as a financial leader, your job is to be the voice of reason, to balance all that hype against the hard reality of the balance sheet. So the real question is, how do you turn the AI buzzword into a truly bulletproof business case?
Okay, let's dive right in. Here's the roadmap for our journey today. We're going to start with the fundamental dilemma that every CFO is wrestling with. Then, we'll talk about the data foundation you absolutely have to build. From there, we'll explore the different investment options on the table. We'll arm you with a powerful due diligence checklist, look at the real-world, quantifiable payoff, and then wrap up with your next strategic move.
First up, the dilemma. This is the central conflict playing out in boardrooms everywhere. It's that constant push and pull between chasing the future and protecting the bottom line.
And this is the mandate, right? It's coming from every single direction. And it frames AI not as just some interesting option, but as a technological arms race. And nobody wants to be the one who gets left behind. Falling behind feels like this critical failure of foresight, a risk that, frankly, no company is willing to take.
And this really gets to the heart of the conflict. On one side, you have the board pushing hard to innovate, to embrace the future, to grab that competitive edge. But on the other side, your mandate as CFO is often the complete opposite, isn't it? It's to optimize costs, to de-risk everything, and to preserve capital, especially in a cautious economic climate.
And look, this isn't just a hunch. The data is crystal clear. A recent Grant Thornton survey confirms that for a whopping 58% of CFOs, cost optimization isn't just a priority, it is their #1 absolute top job. That really reinforces this mood of deep fiscal prudence in the C-suite.
So, with that tension in mind, where do you possibly start? Well, before you can even think about investing in a single AI tool, you have to confront a step that is completely 100% non-negotiable. We have got to talk about your data. We've all heard that old saying, garbage in, garbage out. But here's the thing. In the age of AI, this isn't just some tech problem anymore. It is a massive, multi-million-dollar financial liability. I mean, you could have the most powerful algorithm on the planet, but it will absolutely fail if you're feeding it unreliable, siloed, or just plain messy data. And the cost of that bad data, it's staggering. According to Gartner, poor data quality costs the average organization nearly $13 million every single year. This isn't some abstract problem. It's a direct and painful hit to your bottom line. So this is where a really powerful financial framework comes into play. The 1-10-100 rule. Think about it like this. It costs you $1 to prevent a data error from ever happening. It costs $10 to correct it once it's already in your system. And it costs $100 to fix the damage after that bad data leads to a real business failure. A small, proactive investment up front saves you an exponential amount of money down the line. It's a no-brainer.
Now, building this foundation, it isn't about some endless technical cleanup project that never seems to finish. It's about establishing 4 strategic pillars. You need to ensure your data is high quality, that it's secure and respects privacy, that it's all governed by a single unified framework, and critically, that you have an ethical framework to guide how you use it.
Okay, so once your data house is in order, you finally get to face a critical strategic choice. And this isn't just another build versus buy decision. It's much bigger than that. It's really about what kind of company you want to be in the AI era. The first, and let's be honest, the most accessible path, is what we call the embedded approach. This just means using the AI features that your big vendors, think Oracle, Salesforce, are building directly into the systems you already pay for. Sure, it's convenient, but the trade-off is pretty significant. You lose a ton of control and customization. It's basically a one-size-fits-all solution. The second path is the specialist approach. This is where you bring in a best-in-class third-party tool to solve a very specific problem, like, say, fraud detection. This lets you tap into cutting-edge tech really fast. The downside? Integration can get tricky, and those recurring subscription costs, they can escalate dramatically over time.
And finally, we have the most ambitious path, the proprietary approach. This is where you roll up your sleeves and build a custom AI solution that's tailored specifically to your unique data and your unique processes. Now, it's a bigger upfront investment, no doubt. But the result? The result is a powerful competitive moat that absolutely no one can replicate.
And when you lay these options out side by side, you really start to see the core financial trade-offs. A custom build, for example, it definitely requires the highest initial capital expense, but in return, it offers the lowest long-term total cost of ownership and the absolute highest strategic control. So the decision really boils down to balancing that short-term need for speed against long-term sustainable strategic value.
So you understand the models. Now how do you actually de-risk the decision? For that, you need a powerful toolkit, something that helps you build a truly bulletproof business case that can stand up to scrutiny.
The 7-point checklist is designed to do exactly that. It shifts the conversation away from just cool tech features to tangible business impact. Now, all of these are important, but the two most critical questions here are, number one, the value question. How will this directly impact a core financial metric? And number 7, the why now question. What is the risk of not investing? This brilliantly frames inaction itself as a strategic choice with its own set of costs.
So what happens when you actually apply this level of rigor? Well, the results aren't just theoretical. The early adopters, the ones who are doing this right, are already proving the payoff with incredible, measurable results that hit the bottom line.
Just take MasterCard's fight against fraud. By implementing their own proprietary AI, they achieved a staggering 300% improvement in detection accuracy. Think about that. That's a direct, massive reduction in financial losses.
Or look at HSBC and their compliance challenges. By deploying AI, they cut the noise of false positive alerts by 60%, which slashed their manual review costs. And at the same time, it made them 2 to 4 times better at finding actual suspicious activity. That is the very definition of working smarter, not harder.
The impact on the balance sheet can be just as dramatic. A life sciences firm used AI for predictive cash forecasting and unlocked a $33 million annual boost to their cash flow. Now that is real, quantifiable value that gets any CFO's attention. I mean, the evidence is compelling, isn't it? So the question for financial leaders is no longer if you should invest in AI. It's a much more urgent discussion about how you're going to do it and when.
And you can move from insight to action with 3 concrete, immediate steps. First, initiate a formal data readiness assessment. Find out where you really stand. Second, identify a high-impact, quick-win pilot project to build some momentum. And third, engage a strategic partner early. They can help you navigate the landscape and de-risk the entire process.
And that brings us to the final thought I really want to leave you with. As a financial leader, you are an expert at calculating the return on investment, the ROI. But the crucial question for the AI era is this. What is the risk of non-investment? What's the real cost of standing still while your competitors are out there building their future?